This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so let us continue with where I had stopped. Okay, so yeah, so let me once again repeat with what I was explaining. So we were discussing about e-way bill. Okay, so what do you mean by e-way bill? So it is a electronic way bill which is generated in your GST portal when you are transporting your goods from one location to another. Okay, so that is what we mean by e-way bill. So when goods are shipped from one place to another, a physical document declaring the details of the consignment. So consignment is the transportation of goods from one location to another. That is what we mean by consignment. Is provided by the carrier. Okay, so what details does this e-way bill contain? So in this e-way bill, it will have details like the name of the consigner. So consigner is the person who is sending in the goods. Okay, he is the one who is transporting it. Okay, and then we have the consignee. Consignee is the person who is supposed to receive the goods. Okay, he is supposed to receive the delivery. Okay, so along with this you will have the origin of the consignment, you will have the destination, you will have the route by which the consignment will be transported, and very important, the mode of transport. Is it through rail, is it through road, is it through air, is it through ship? So you have to mention even the mode of transport. So these are all the details that will be provided in your e-way bill. Okay, and this e-way bill is generated in your GST portal. So you have to visit your GST website. You have to go to the e-way bill section, and there you have to generate this e-way bill. So I will be showing you how to do that in a while. Okay, so this is what we mean by e-way bill. So any doubts regarding e-way bill? So did all of you understand what exactly e-way bill is? Please react to that. Okay, so when our e-way bill is generated, a unique reference number, that is the e-way bill number, will be generated, which will have the consignment details. Okay, fine. So now very important, make a note of this. Okay, so if the invoice value is 50,000 or above, all registered dealer must generate an e-way bill for the interstate movement of goods. So what do you mean by this interstate? Interstate means from one state to another state. So if you are transporting goods from one state to another state, and if the value of that is rupees 50,000, okay, so if it is 50,000 or more, in that case it is mandatory for all the registered dealers to generate their e-way bill. Okay, and if it is intra-state transaction, that means if you are transporting your goods within the same state, okay, in that case also there is a threshold limit. So that threshold limit varies from state to state. Each state has their own threshold limit. So for Karnataka, again it is 50,000 rupees. Okay, so if there is a transaction that is happening in Karnataka, wherein the place of supply is Bangalore, and let us say place of supply is another city, Mysore. Okay, so this is a intra-state delivery. Okay, so in this case, when the transportation takes place, if the invoice value is greater than 50,000, in that case your e-way bill should be generated. Okay, it is mandatory to generate e-way bill. If it is interstate transaction, okay, so try to understand the difference between the interstate and intrastate. So if it is interstate, wherein the place of supply is from a different state and the place of delivery is from a different state, wherein it is happening between two different states, in that case the invoice value threshold limit is 50,000 rupees. So if it is 50,000 and above, you have to generate your e-way bill. Okay, so did all of you understand the invoice value and the exemption limit for your both intrastate and interstate? Please react to that. So if you have not understood, you can please let me know. I will repeat it once again. So yeah, this is what we mean by e-way bill. Okay, so now let us see what are all the different components of e-way bill. Okay, so e-way bill will have two important components, okay, which are part A and part B. So your e-way bill will contain part A as well as part B. So now let us understand what details comes under your part A and part B. So you can see that here we have the part A from EVW. EVW means e-way bill, and this is the details to be mentioned in the part A. Similarly, we have part B. So in your part A, first we have to provide the GST IN. So this is your GST registration number, okay, of the recipient. Okay, so recipient means if receiver GST IN number, if the receiver is unregistered. Okay, when I say recipient means this is the GST number of the person who is receiving the goods, okay, to whom the goods is being transported. So that particular company's GST registration number should be provided. And if the receiver or the recipient if is not a registered dealer and if he does not have a GST number, in that case we must mark it as URD. URD means unregistered dealer. Okay, and next we have to provide the place of delivery pin code. Okay, so pin code is mandatory. So without pin code you cannot generate your e-way bill. So place of delivery means it is the location where the transportation will go and reach. That means this is the place where we are supposed to send the goods. Okay, so that particular locations pin code is required. Okay, so here it says pin code of place of delivery with approximate distance. So what can be the approximate distance? We have to calculate that and we have to provide it, whether it is 200 kilometers, 300 kilometers, or whatever it is. Okay, and then you have your invoice or challan number. So we have to provide even the invoice. That means the goods that we are sending. So the goods that we are transporting, for that we will generate a invoice. So we have to provide the invoice, and then the value of goods, so we have to provide even the value as per invoice, so whatever value we have. And then you have the HSN code. So all of you know what is HSN code. So HSN code is provided for your goods. So you have to also provide the HSN code, which is mandatory. And then the transport document number. Okay, so transport document number means goods receipt number or railway receipt number or airway bill number or bill of landing. So you have to provide the details for your mode of transportation here. Okay, and then here you have reasons for transportation. So what is the reason? So are you transporting it for sale? Are you transporting it for job work? So is it a import or export, or is it a exhibition? So depending on what exactly the transportation is happening, so we have to provide the reason for the transportation as well. So these are the details that fall under your part A. So any doubts regarding part A? Ash, any doubts? Shall I move on to part B? Okay. Now here you have the part B details. So part B, in your part B details, you can see that the first information is the mode of transport. So we need to provide the mode of transport. That means how are we transporting the goods? Is it through road, air, rail, or ship? Okay, so then we need to provide the distance in kilometers. So we need to enter the total transportation distance that has to be covered in kilometers. Okay, and then we have to provide the vehicle number. So vehicle number will be the number of the vehicle which is carrying the goods while transporting it. So in that we have two kinds of vehicles. So one is your regular vehicle and the second one is over dimensional cargo. So what do you mean by this over dimensional cargo? It means this will be carrying heavy goods or bulky goods. Okay, so that is what we mean by your over dimensional cargo, which carries huge or we can say, large bulky goods. So if it is such kind of a vehicle, we call that as overdimensional cargo. And then we have to provide the transporter ID. Now suppose if I am transporting the goods through a transport agency, so what I do is I will approach a transport agency and I will hand over my goods to them and I will ask them to transport the goods. So in that case we must also provide the transporter GST number. Okay, it is very important to provide the transporter GST number. So that is what we mean by the transporter ID here. Okay, so this is the details that are under your part B. Okay, so this is the two important components of your e-way bill, that is your part A and part B. So any doubts regarding this? Shall I move on to the next slide? Fine. Okay, now let us understand the flow of generating the e-way bill. Okay, so this is for the intrastate movement of goods. That means this is a intrastate wherein there is two different states involved. Okay, that means the transportation is taking place between two different states. So as I told you, the goods value will be above 50,000. Okay, so now with the scenario here, let us try to understand what is the flow of the e-way bill. So here the place of supply is Maharashtra. That means the transportation is happening from Maharashtra, and the place of delivery is Karnataka. So this is the example here. Okay. So first step one, we must upload shipment details, that is the part A plus part B, in order to obtain e-way bill number. Okay, so this is the step one. So in the previous slide I just explained you the part A and part B of your e-way bill. So we need to provide all the details of that in the step one. And step two is give e-way bill details along with an invoice copy to the transporter. That means whoever is transporting the goods. Suppose if we have hired a transport agencies, so that particular transport agencies should also be getting this e-way bill details along with the invoice copy to the transporter or the driver in the sense whoever is not driving that particular vehicle. So even he should have a copy of the e-way bill and the invoice. Then step 3 is the tax officials will verify the e-way bill details at the check post. Okay, so when the goods is being transported from Maharashtra to Karnataka, in between you will have a check post wherein the tax officials will verify the e-way bill details. And if there is no e-way bill and if the invoice value is more than 50,000 and if there is no e-way bill, then whatever goods that you are transporting will be seized by the tax officials there. Okay, so that is why it is very important to generate this e-way bill. Okay, after that you have the step 4. So in the step 4, vehicle leaves the check post after verification. That means after the verification in the check post, the vehicle will continue its journey and it will reach its destination. Okay, sorry. Okay, so yeah, so this was the step. So after the step 4, there is step 5 here. I know it's not being displayed, but step 5 is that this particular transportation will be reaching its destination, that is Karnataka. So this is how the transaction takes place. Okay, this is how your e-way bill operates. Okay, and if it is a intra-state transaction, that means if it is happening within the same state, so in that case only your step 1 and step 2 will be followed. So step 1 is to upload the part A and part B details, and step 2 is to give e-way bill details along with an invoice copy to the transporter. Okay, and the threshold limit for one particular state will be different from another particular state if it is a intra-state transaction. So here it says within Maharashtra. So we are taking the example of Maharashtra. So for Maharashtra, the threshold limit is 1 lakh. So if the transportation invoice value is less than 1 lakh, there is no need for you to generate a e-way bill. But if it is more than 1 lakh, okay, in that case, it is mandatory for you to generate your e-way bill. in case of intrastate. For interstate, the threshold limit is 50,000 throughout the country. Is it fine? Are you able to understand? Did you all understand the flow of e-way bill? Do you want me to repeat it once again, or shall I move on to the next slide?
Sir, can you explain fifth step, sir? Like I was
Okay.
not able to hear.
Okay, so your step 4 says that vehicle leaves the check post after verification. So after the verification, step 5 is nothing but the transportation will be completed when it is reaching the destination. So in this case, the destination is Karnataka. So that is step 5, reaching the destination.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, yeah, fine. Any other doubts? Shall I move on to the next slide?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, now let us understand e-way bill through Tally. So how is Tally, helpful in generating e-way bill? So let us understand that. So first it says connected. The product directly communicates with the NIC portal. Now when I say product, it means Tally, the accounting software. So Tally directly communicates with NIC portal. So does anyone have any idea of what this NIC portal is? Okay, so NIC portal means National Informatics Center. Okay, so this comes under your Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. So all our GST portals, all our e-way bills, so this will come under this NIC portal. Okay, so the product in the sense the Tally software directly communicates with the NIC portal, which means that you can complete all e-way bill activities from within the product without needing to go out anytime. So you can generate your e-way bill through this software only, through Tally itself. You need not have to visit the e-way bill portal, and you need not have to generate it over there. You can generate it through your accounting software, that is Tally. Okay. Okay, so here again it says Tallyprime is and will always be fully compliant with the e-way bill regulations as well as the requirements of the NIC portal. So whatever changes that will happen in the e-way bill regulations, so whatever government changes that happens, so Tallyprime will be fully upgraded with it. Okay, so that is what the second point says. The third point here is we understand that while managing e-way bills, you may be faced with a diverse set of scenarios. So when I say diverse set of scenarios is, suppose now you generate a e-way bill, okay, for one particular transaction. Suppose what will happen is due to some reasons the transportation will stop. That means you will decide that okay, now I will not be transporting the goods. So what you have to do, you have to again cancel the e-way bill. And the another set of scenario is suppose you want to upgrade the e-way bill details. So again what you have to do, you have to go to the e-way bill portal, you need to register, I mean you need to log in there, and you have to make all sort of changes. But the product completely adapts to all such cases. When I say product, don't get confused, it is Tally. So Tally completely adapts to all such cases in the entire life cycle of e-way bill, giving you complete peace of mind. So using Tally, it is really easy to generate and operate your e-way bill. Okay. Then it also says no more needing to switch between Tally and NIC portals. So yeah, as I just told, you can generate it from Tally software itself. There is no need for you to again visit your NIC portal. So you can instantly generate and print your e-way bill along with the QR code as soon as you save an invoice. So we will be seeing how to do this in a while. Okay, quick bulk generation of e-invoices plus e-way bills. You can instantly fetch the e-way bill informations in Tally from e-way bills, and you can avoid the portal simplify I mean classific I mean all the portal what do you say troubles. Okay, Then flexible to generate e-way bill with part A only. Later update the part B details shared by the transporter in a single click. So now if you're generating your e-way bill and you're transporting your goods through a transport agency. So the transport agency will provide with all the details like the mode of transport, the transported ID, then you have the vehicle number. So it part B is completely left to the transporter agency. So when you are recording your e-way bill, I mean when you are generating it, you can only provide with the part A details. Okay, and when you receive the information or the details from your transport agency, in that case you can later update your part B details also. So that is, one flexible aspect of your e-way bill. Okay, and yeah, you can get bird's eye view. That means you can, have a very genuine look of the e-way bill, wherein you can take appropriate actions if there is any issues in it. So that is what it says here. And yeah, so this is all about your uh, e-way bill. So any doubts in e-way bill? So did you all understand the fundamental concept of e-way bill and how e-way bill works? Is there any doubt in any of the point? If so, please let me know. I will, clarify it. Okay, fine. Next, here we have a concept which is your GST e-invoicing. So e-invoicing again is, a very important topic. So what do you mean by e-invoicing? So whatever tax invoice that you generate, in order to authenticate your tax invoice with the government or with the GST department, you need to generate your e-invoice. So that is what we mean by e-invoicing. So now let us, understand this in detail. So here it says invoice registration portal. So you have a portal in the name of invoice registration portal, wherein you need to authenticate your B2B and B2G. Okay, so can anyone tell me what do you mean by this B2B and B2G? Are you
Sir,
aware of it?
business to business. B2B is
Okay,
business to business, and
very good.
B2G, uh, I don't know B2G, sir. Is it business to go down?
No, 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 no. B2G is business to government.
Oh, okay, sir.
Yeah, so yeah, very good. So if you want to authenticate your B2B and B2G invoices, you have to authenticate it electronically in the invoice registration portal, IRP. Remember this. So this is what we mean by e-invoicing. Okay. So uploading all your B2B transactions for authentication or registration. Okay. So even the government has to, have a look of your B2B transactions in order to authenticate them. So for that, we will be uploading this B2B information in invoice registration portal. So this process is called as e-invoicing. Okay. So the IRP, that is your invoice registration portal, will issue a unique invoice reference number for every invoice that you uh, upload. So for every invoice that you upload in your invoice registration portal, you will be getting a IRN, which is your invoice reference number. So this invoice reference number will need to be converted to a QR code. Okay, fine. And applicable transaction is e-way bill will also need to be generated simultaneously with invoice. That means if your B2B invoice also involves e-way bill, okay, if it is along with the e-way bill, then you can generate your e-invoice as well as your e-way bill simultaneously. Are you able to understand? Did you understand what is e-invoicing? Any doubts in this? Shall I move on to the next slide? If you have any doubts, please let me know with any of the points that I just explained now. Okay. So let us move forward and see what else we have here. Okay, so there is a date of implementing your GST e-invoicing. Okay, so very important dates. Make a note of this if you want to. Okay, so the new date of mandatory implementation of e-invoice. So there, according to the dates here, the mandatory exempt turnover also has been changed. So before 1st of October 2020, the mandatory annual turnover was 500 crore and above. So if your business was, let us say, 500 crore and above, that means if the business annual turnover was more than this, then it was mandatory for them to uh, use this GST invoicing. Okay, so if it was 100 crore and up to 500 crore, that means if the annual crore was between 100 crore and 500 crore from 1st January 2021. Okay, so that time the annual turnover had come down. So if it was 100 crore and up to 500 crore, only then they were implementing the GST invoicing. Okay, and the latest one, that means the financial year 1st April 2021. So from then onwards the annual turnover was 50 crore and above. Okay, so if your annual turnover is more than 50 crores, then you have to, it is mandatory for you to have this GST e-invoicing. Okay, so you can take a screenshot of this date of implementing slide. Okay, so now let us see how to generate e-way bill along with your e-invoice. Okay, so yeah, there are a few points. So let us make a note of them. So e-way bill can also be generated along with e-invoice through the IRP portal. Okay, remember this. It is your invoice registration portal. So you can generate both e-way bill and your e-invoice in this particular portal. So IRN is mandatory for generating the e-way bill. So what do you mean by IRN? IRN means your invoice reference number. Okay. So this will be provided by the IRP portal. This IRN number. Okay, using the IRN, an e-way bill can be generated on the IRP portal or in the e-way portal. See, you can either upload or your e-way bill in the IRP portal, or you can also visit the e-way bill portal. Okay, there is a separate website in the name of e-way bill portal wherein you can upload the e-way bill details. Invoices that do not require registration on IRP, such as your B2C invoices. Okay, so suppose you have your B2C invoices. So when can you generate your e-invoice? I just told you that in order to generate your e-invoice, it is the B2B and your B2G. Only these two invoices can be having the GST e-invoicing, not any other category. So if it is a B2C invoice, in that case, you will not be generating your e-invoice. But if your B2B invoice has a e-way bill, that means if the B2B invoice has a transportation for which you have to generate e-way bill, in that case, you cannot generate your e-way bill and e-invoice together because you don't have e-invoice in this case. So in that case, you have to visit the e-way bill portal in order to uh, fill in the e-way bill details. Okay, so that is what the fourth point says here. So yeah, any doubts regarding the points that I just explained? Do you want me to repeat any one of the point? You can react to it. Shall I move on to the next slide? Okay, now let us see the modification of e-invoice. Okay, so let us understand that. So when the IRN is generated for a particular voucher, you might have to cancel it. This can happen when there is a change in the rate of an item or if the party has cancelled the order.
So now what you will do is for your B2B or for your B2G. So what you will do is you will generate a e-invoice. And suppose if you want to make any modification in that, okay. So what you have to do is you have to cancel your e-invoice. So why? What are the scenarios in which you have to cancel it? So if there is any change in the rate of the item, or if the party, whoever is, the customer, if he is canceling the order, so in that case, what you have to do, you have to make some modifications or you have to cancel the invoice that you have generated. Okay. So incorrect entry or duplicate entry, in such cases also you may want to cancel the invoice. So even if there is any incorrect entry, so as per department regulation, invoice cancellation must be done within 24 hours of IRN generation. So if you generate your IRN, that is your invoice reference number for the e-invoice that you have uploaded. So if you want to make any cancellation to that, it must be done within the 24 hours. Okay, within the 24 hours of the IRN generation. So the moment your IRN is generated, you will have 24 hours to cancel it. Okay, if there is any reason for you to cancel it. Okay. If an e-way bill is already generated for the IRN, it cannot be cancelled. So remember this. So if you are generating your e-way bill and your e-invoice together, okay, if you're doing it together, and if your e-way bill is already generated for the IRN, in that case you cannot cancel that particular invoice. So in that case, what you have to do, you have to go back, you have to first cancel the e-way bill, and after you cancel the e-way bill, then you can cancel the e-invoice. Okay, and that must be happening within 24 hours. Okay, so did you understand the fourth point? Did you all understand the fourth point? Do you want me to repeat it once again? Fine. So if you are reacting with a thumbs up, it is understood that you want me to repeat it. Is that why are you reacting with a thumbs up?
No, sir.
Okay, okay, fine. Then here it says partial cancellation of e-invoice is not possible, hence the whole of the invoice needs to be cancelled. Yeah, so as I told you, if you want to cancel this e-invoice when e-way bill is also generated, so you have to do it, completely you have to cancel it. So first you have to cancel your e-way bill and then you have to cancel your e-invoice. That is what the fifth point says here. So the sixth point here says that e-invoices once generated cannot be modified on IRP. So if you generate your e-invoice, you cannot make any modification to that in the invoice registration portal. That means now, for example, you might have given some incorrect informations. Okay, you might have given some wrong informations. You might have not given it correctly. So you cannot go to the IRP and you cannot modify the e-invoice. So what you have to do, you have to cancel the e-invoice. You have to completely cancel the re-invoice and you have to generate a new invoice. And after generating a new invoice, you have to upload the new invoice in the IRP once again. Okay. So you cannot make any modifications to the e-invoice. So once it is generated, you cannot make any changes. So you have to completely delete it once again and then you have to re-upload the new invoice that you have generated in the IRP, that is your invoice registration portal. So don't get confused with IRP and IRN. So IRP is the portal. Okay, this is the place where we will be uploading the e-invoice. So this is the number IRN, the invoice reference number. So this is the number that will be generated after you upload your e-invoice. Okay, so don't get confused with the IRP and IRN. Yeah, so now let us understand the role of e-invoice in your GST returns. So once GST invoice is uploaded to IRP, the invoice information will be auto-populated in GSTR1 of the supplier and GSTR2B of the recipient. Okay, so your GSTR1 and GSTR2B will be auto populated once you upload the GST invoice in your IRP. So I was explaining you what you mean by GSTR1 and GSTR2B in the last class. So did you all follow with that? Do you want me to explain that once again? If you don't remember, please tell me no, because these are very, very important returns, GSTR1 and GSTR2A and 2B. If you have not understood, if you are not attentive that time, you can, ask me now. I will explain it once again. So do you want me to explain this GST reports or once again? Fine. So please let me know. Okay. If you have any doubts regarding the GST reports, let me know in the next class. You can let me know now itself. Yeah. Next, the supplier can modify invoice details in GST returns. Okay. However, these modifications will not be applied only to GST and not to e-invoice. That means whatever modifications that happens will only be applied to the GST returns, but not to the e-invoice. So if you remember in the last slide, I was telling you that you cannot modify the e-invoice. So there will be no modification happening to the e-invoice once it is generated. Okay, so this is all about your e-invoice and how it works and all the definition of it. So any doubts regarding your e-invoice? So did you all understand the concept of it, because it is very important? Okay, so now let us see what are all the different modes through which you can generate your e-invoice. So you can generate your e-invoice. See, we have to generate it where? We have to generate it in the IRP portal. Okay, so if you want to generate it in the IRP portal, what you have to do is you have to use any of these methods or modes that you can see here. So one, you can use your Excel. So through Excel you can generate, or you can upload your e-invoice to the IRP portal through mobile app, through SMS, through your ERP. Okay, ERP means the accounting software. So what do you mean with this AIP then? AIP means application program interface. Okay, so this is done by the software, the accounting software that you are using. If your accounting software has this feature, so in our case Tally has this feature, so using Tally we can also generate, or we can also upload our e-invoice. Okay, direct entry on the portal, wherein we will physically go and we will make the direct entry to the IRP portal. So we will visit this IRP portal. That means there is through online. Okay, so you will go to this IRP website and directly you will upload it. So and then you have the business portal. Okay, so these are all the different modes through which you can uh, generate your e-invoice and upload it to the IRP. So any doubts regarding this?
Sir, what is GSP?
Huh?
Sir, what is
Sorry?
GSP, sir? GSP.
Okay, fine. GSP. So here you can see that here it says GSP. So GSP means GST Suvidha Provider. Okay, so now here this GSP is actually coming under your ERP. So if the ERP, that means in our case Tally, so if Tally is able to generate your e-invoice, okay, in that case this particular software, Tally software, must be identified by the IRP department. So the identification happens through this GSP. That means your goods and services tax Suvidha provider. So that is what we mean by GSP. So with this GSP, the IRP portal can understand that okay, it is Tally software who is generating the e-invoice. Okay, so did you understand this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Yeah, so that is what we mean by GSP.
Okay.
Okay, now let us see the role of IRP in e-invoice. So I pretty much explained what is IRP. So again, that is what is being repeated here. So IRP is also known as your invoice registration portal, a system used to validate the authenticity of the GST invoices. So which invoices? Again, I'm repeating, it is the B2B invoice and B2G invoice. Only these two invoices, not your B2C invoice. Okay, IRP accepts the GST invoice prepared by the taxpayer, validates the document as per the e-invoice schema, and performs additional checks on the contents of the e-invoice. So yeah, that is what your IRP does. So generates a unique invoice reference number, IRN number, which is 64 characters. Okay, remember this. So your IRN number will be 64 characters. Okay, so it will also generate the QR code with high level details of the invoice and reply to the user with these details. Okay, so yeah, this was all about your GST e-invoicing and GST e-way bill. So any doubts regarding your e-way bill and e-invoicing? No doubts, fine. So now let us understand creation of this e-way bill. So how can you create this e-way bill on the e-way bill portal? Okay, so this is the official portal. So now pay attention. This is very important. Okay, so now we will understand what is the procedure to uh, create the e-way bill profile on the portal. Okay, so first here, to get started with your e-way bill, firstly you must register your business on the e-way bill portal and then create an AIP user profile by selecting Tally India Private Limited as your GSP. So I explained what is this GSP and API. So I will go to this in depth now. Okay, so pay attention. So first, to register e-way bill in the portal, that means first you need to register whatever business you have, whatever business that you are running, you have to register that in the e-way bill portal. So for that, you need to visit this particular website. So open the e-way bill portal. So this is the link for it. Okay, e-waybill gst.gov.in. Okay, so this is the website in which you need to visit in order to register. So this is how it will look. So here you can see that in this particular dashboard, under registration, okay, under registration you have e-way bill registration. So you need to select that. Okay, after you select that, what you have to do is, the moment you select that, you will get a dashboard like this. Okay, in this dashboard you have to provide the GST registration number of your business. So you all remember, you all know, right, what you mean by this GST registration number. It is a 15 digit number. So you have to provide this registration number here, your GST registration number, and you have to also provide the captcha. So after that you have to press go. Okay, so the moment you do that, you will have an option wherein you will get all the details of your business. Okay, that means the business address and everything that you have given in the GST registration details. So all that will be automatically filled. The state, pin code, address, your mail ID, and the mobile number. Very, very important. The mobile number that you have provided during the GST registration will also be given here. So after you give in the GST number, you will have a screen like this wherein the applicant details and all the business name and everything will be filled automatically. You can cross verify that and you can click on this option here which says send OTP. So an OTP means one time password. So that will be sent to the registered mobile number and you need to verify that. So the moment you verify your OTP, you will be taken to another screen wherein you need to provide a new username. That means you have to create a username and password to log in. So whenever you want to log into the e-way bill, what you have, sorry, e-way bill portal, what you have to do is you have to provide a username and password. So if you are familiar with the social media platforms, so it is exactly the same, wherein how you open a Instagram account or a Facebook account. So in order to log into that particular account every time, you have to provide a username and password. So similarly, if you want to access the e-way bill portal, you have to provide the username and password. So you have to first create that. So after registering on the eWay bill portal, the next step is to create your API user profile. So what do you mean by this API user profile? It means your application program interface. So in our case, which is the application that we are using? Which software are we using here? Did you all understand my question? So here it says the next step is to create API user profile. Okay, don't get confused with this API. It is just, you can just assume that this is the software. So we must create the software user profile. So which software are we using here?
E-way bill profile, sir. Portal.
Huh?
E-way bill
So
profile.
okay, so now if you want to upload your e-way bill, you are using a software, right? So which software are you using? So I just explained when I was explaining GSP.
IRP portal, sir.
No, 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 no. IRP is in your e-invoicing. Okay. See, understand here. So after registering on the e-way bill portal, see, e-way bill portal is different. Your IRP portal is different. So in your eWay bill portal, what you have to do is the next step is to create the API user profile. That means after you create all your registration details like your username and password, and after you log in. So after you log in, what you have to do is you have to create a software user profile. That means in your business, which software are you using? That is what my question is. Which software are we using now? Which software are we learning?
Tallyprime, sir.
Yeah, so Tally Prime is the answer. So when I say API, don't get confused. It means Tally. Okay. So there are so many different softwares through which you can generate your e-way bill portal. I mean, your e-way bill directly. So for that, we must first link our software to the e-way bill portal. Okay. Are you understanding now?
Yes, sir.
Did you all understand? Fine. So for that, what you have to do is you have to open the eWay bill portal once again. That means after you register and after you create the username and password, once again you visit the website, click on login, and then enter the username and password that you have created, enter the captcha, and then your eWay bill dashboard will appear like this. You can see here there is a dashboard that is appearing. So this is how your dashboard will look. So here you have to select for GSP. GSP means your GST Suvidha provider. Okay, so you have to select this for GSP, and then what will happen is you can see here GST Suvidha provider will appear with predefined email and mobile number. So whatever email ID and mobile number you would have given, so along with that a screen will appear. Again, you have to click on send OTP in order to verify. Okay, after you finish your verification, 1 minute. After you finish your verification, you will get a screen like this, wherein you must search Tally India Private Limited. So you have to select this and you have to select this particular field. So by doing this, what will happen is you will be linking your software, that means your GST Suvidha provider, to the eWay bill portal. So did you all understand? Okay. So yeah, this is the process of generating eWay bill. Next here we have yeah. So now let us again come back to e-invoice. So okay, don't get confused with e-way bill and e-invoice. Okay, these two are two different concepts. So e-invoice, so under your e-invoice, what are all the details that you'll have? So you will either have your B2B or your B2G tax invoice, the export invoice, reverse charge. So I will explain what do you mean by this reverse charge. Okay. So yeah, your credit note and debit note are the documents to be reported to the e-invoice system. So these are all the reports that has to be uploaded in your e-invoice. Okay, so again, in your e-invoice, let us look at the details that is going to be presented. So first you have the seller details, the name, address, the GST registration number, the PIN code, etc. Everything relating to the seller. Then you have the buyer details. Then you have the consignee details. Then you have the dispatch from details. Then you have the item details. What is the goods that you are transporting? So you have the quantity, rate, UQC, amount, HSN code, all those things. You have the invoice details like the invoice number, invoice date, and all those things, and export details, and finally the e-way bill details. So these are all the details that a e-invoice shall contain. Okay, you can take a screenshot of this. Fine. So let us move on to the next slide. Okay, so what does it say here? It says GST in Tally Prime. Okay, so now let us try to understand this e-way bill concept. So let us try to provide this e-way bill concept in Tally. Okay, okay. So before that, now I want all of you to pay attention because now I'll be doing the practical part. So first, I will create a new company. Let me name this company as MCZ Evening Batch. Okay, then press Ctrl A after you provide the basic information. Okay, and very important here under the taxation where it says enable goods and services tax, make this option as yes, and here provide the GST registration details. So the state is Karnataka. So I believe that all of these concepts was done to you. Okay, so if you have any doubts regarding this, if any of the options is not being displayed in your particular laptop or wherever you're practicing, please let me know. Okay, so then select regular, SSC of other territory, keep it as no, then provide a GST number. So let me give a GST number here. Okay, periodicity of your GSTR1. That means when are you filing the GSTR1 returns? So is it monthly or quarterly? So you can choose. So in my case, I'll keep it as monthly. Then place of supply. Okay. So again, it will be Karnataka. Now here you can see that here you have an option which is asking for the e-invoice details. So what I have to do is I must make this option as yes. Okay, then applicable from I will may give the current financial year date itself, that is 1st of April, and the invoice bill from place. So where is the place? So let us give it as Bangalore. Okay, after that here again it says e-way bill details. So first we must make sure that my e-way bill applicability is as yes. So applicable from 1st of April 23. Again, here you have an option which says applicable for intrastate. Intrastate means is e-way bill applicable within the same state. So if it is within the same state, if there is a threshold limit for that, and if the threshold limit is crossed, even in that case, your e-way bill should be generated. So for that, you must keep this option as yes. Okay. After that, you can press Ctrl A in order to accept the screen. So any doubts regarding your e-way bill details and e-invoicing that you have to fill here? So make sure you fill this properly, otherwise your e-way bill transactions will not work. Okay, so fine. I'll press Ctrl A. I'll accept the screen. I will not give any GST details here. I will keep this option as no. Okay, fine. So let us record sales transactions first. So before I record a sales transaction, let me create the required ledgers. So let me create a party. So the party will be, let us say, JD Traders. So because we are selling it to JD Traders will come under sundry debtors. Okay. So because we are transporting the goods, okay, this is a transporting goods transaction. So in order to explain you the e-way bill, I'm doing this. We will take the example of interstate transaction. Okay, interstate means from one state to another state. Okay, so name and the address of that particular party. It is very very important to provide the address. Okay, so because without giving the address, how can you transport the goods? So it is very important to have the address. So let me give some address here. Okay, so I have given some random address here. This is not a genuine address. So state, I will choose Delhi. So registration type, keep it as regular. And now I have to provide the GST number. So for Delhi, the GST number state code is 07. Okay. So let me give a number here. Okay. So you can make a note of this number. Even you can use the same number if you want to. Okay. Yeah. So after that, I'll press enter. I'll accept the ledger. After that, let me create a sales ledger under sales account. Okay. Make sure that this is how you are supposed to fill the details. So under your GST applicability, keep it as applicable and don't mention any HSN code or GST rates here. Keep it as per company or group, and similarly as per company or group, and type of supply will be goods. Okay. So yeah, now let me create IGST. Why is it IGST? Because this is a interstate transaction. So if it is interstate transaction, IGST is applicable. If it is intrastate transaction, can you tell me which GST is applied?
Sir, can you repeat the question, sir?
Okay, so this is a interstate transaction. That means my place of supply is Karnataka and my place of delivery is Delhi. So if this kind of transaction, our IGST is applicable, Integrated Goods and Services Tax. So my question is, if it is a intrastate, that means if it is happening within the same state, if the transaction takes place within the same state, then which GST is applied?
If it is within the same state, it will be CGST and SGST.
Okay, yes, it is CGST and SGST. Very good. So now in our case, I will be creating IGST. Okay, because this is a interstate transaction. So under duties and taxes, so type of tax will be GST. Tax type is IGST. You can keep the percentage of calculation as 0 and then accept the screen. Okay. After that, let me create one stock item also. Okay. So let me create a stock item. So it is very important to give the units. So I will create the units NOS. The full name is numbers, and very very important, you have to provide your UQC, unit quantity code. Okay. Then under your GST applicability, keep it as applicable. Here we need to provide the HSN code details and your GST details. So I will mention this specified details here. So your HSN code will be 8471. So this is the HSN code for laptop. So description again will be the same, laptop. Here I will provide the GST rate. So again I will choose the specified details here option. So this is a taxable good, 18%, and you can access the screen. Okay, is it fine? So after providing all the details, after creating the ledgers and stock item, let us record this transaction. Okay. So I'll go to vouchers. F8 is the voucher that we will be recording it. So now let me tell you this before I record the transaction. See, right now we are using educational mode. Okay. So in educational mode, we cannot generate e-way bill. We can provide the details of e-way bill, but we cannot generate it directly. Okay. It will not be generated directly. So because this is not a licensed version, this is a unlicensed version. So if you're using a licensed version, okay, you will have two kinds of license. Remember, one is your silver license and gold license. So depending on whichever license you're using, you can generate your e-way bill automatically. But because here we don't have that one, we will not be able to generate this automatically. But I will show you how to provide the e-way bill details. Okay, you can make a note of that at least. So first party name will be JD Traders. So you can skip all the details. Okay. Then sales ledger and press spacebar, select the stock item. Let us say 5 numbers. So here I'm getting a warning which says negative stock. That means if I'm selling this laptop, it means that I should have this laptop in my godown. So I don't have any laptop. So that is why it's showing as negative stock. It's fine. You can just press enter. Let me give the rate as 25,000. So now you can see that the rate is more than 50,000. The invoice value is more than 50,000. So it is mandatory for us to generate e-way bill. Okay. Then you will get the GST rate and related details. Again, you can press as per master or company because we have already defined all the details. So there is no need for us to define it once again. Again, press enter. Okay. And then select your IGST. Okay. So an IGST is also applicable on this. Press Alt A and Alt F1. So you will get the details. So you can see that IGST at the rate of 18% has been calculated. Okay, fine. So then here, after that press enter. There you will have an option here which says provide GST e-way bill e-invoice details. So this option we must make it as yes. So now as soon as I do that, you are going to get a screen like this. Okay. So here we have to provide the GST details. So if you remember, while I was explaining the components of your e-way bill, I was telling you the part A and part B, right? So on top that you can see the e-way bill details, the consigner details and the consignee details. This is part A. Below that, the transport details that you have, this is part B. Okay. So now let us, give part A and part B this thing address. So first we have consigner. Consigner means who is delivering the goods. In our case, it is our company, right? So we must provide the address of our company. And as I was mentioning, it is very, very important to provide the PIN code. Without giving the PIN code, you cannot generate your e-way bill. So let me give a PIN code here. Okay, so this is the pin code of Jainagar. So this is the actual state, and this is the consignee details. That means to whom are we delivering the goods, who is the one who's receiving it. So in this case it is the JD Traders Delhi. So we have provided the party address here, and again we have to provide the pin code. So pin code again will be this is a pin code of Delhi. Okay, so actual state is Delhi. So now here we must provide pin to pin distance as per portal. That means we have to provide the approximate distance that is covered in terms of kilometers. Okay, so how can you find out that? So how can you find out what is the actual or the approximate distance between this pin code and this pin code? So here you have an option which says calculate distance on portal. Okay, so I will press this option here. I'll select this one. So this will take me to a website, the e-way bill website, wherein I can give in the pin codes in order to generate the distance. So first here I have dispatch from pin code. So I'll provide a pin code here. So this is the pin code for my dispatch, and this is my pin code for shipping. I need to provide the captcha here. 8JH3. Yeah. So here it says approximate distance between the pin code this and pin code this is 2144 kilometers. Okay. So after that again you can come back. Okay, and give the number here 2144. Okay, next you have to give the transporter name. That means who is the person or who is the agency who is transporting it. So what I'll do is I'll create a new name here. I'll click on this new. So here it says transporter for the shipment. So now I will give a name here. I'll say VRL. Okay, and I have to also give the transporter ID. So transporter ID will be the GST number of VRL. So VRL is a logistic agency. So keep this in mind. So let me give a number here 29A. Okay, we have done that. And this part B details you can skip or you can provide. Okay, so you can also skip this details, but no, because we are practicing it now, let us even start give this also. So the mode of transportation will be road. So I have to provide the vehicle number. That means the vehicle that is carrying it, I have to provide the vehicle number KA01. Okay, I have given a random number. Okay, and then I have to select the vehicle type. Is it over dimensional cargo or is it regular? So in my case, I will select regular. Okay, and after that, you have to provide the bill to place and ship to place. So bill to and ship to both are Delhi. So I will provide Delhi. Let's enter. Then you will get the new reference. Okay, you can give a reference number to this. I give sale 01. Okay, and after that, press enter. As soon as you get this option here which says accept, okay, as soon as you accept the transaction, you will get a message which says, do you want to send voucher details for e-invoice and e-way bill generation? So if you press yes, it will automatically be sent. But because this is not a licensed version, I will not be able to perform this action. So even if I press enter, okay, even if I press enter, okay, so here it says mandatory information for e-invoice e-way bill is not specified or invalid. To update the relevant details, okay, so there is some details which I have not updated, so let me update. So if I want to update it, it is telling me to press alt G, go to e-invoice, and under uncertain transaction make some corrections. So let us see what correction has to be done. Okay, let me come back to gateway of Tally. I'll go to display more reports. I will go to GST reports. So here I have the e-invoice. So it told me that there is some error in your e-invoice. Please rectify that. Okay, so let us rectify it. Let me go to e-invoice. So here it says information required for e-invoice not provided. So let me see what it is. So here you can see that there is a note. So in this note, it will tell me what is supposed to be done. Press enter on a line item to drill down and resolve the exceptions. So press enter. So here I have to provide some details. So these details maybe I have not provided. So let me provide. So first one is pin code bill from and pin code dispatch from.
So this is the pin code of the not destination, place of supply. That means from where the goods is being transported, we have to give the pin code here. So let me give it once again. Are you all able to follow? Is this confusing? Is it getting confused? Do you want me to repeat it any one of the points once again?
Sir, after gateway of Tally, display more reports.
Uh,
After that, what am I supposed to click, sir?
After from gateway of Tally, go to GST reports, go to e-invoice, and here you have an option which says information required for e-invoice not provided. Is it displaying?
1 minute. So, for me, it is showing uncertain transactions.
Okay, no problem. So, did you create a new company or are you using the same company?
I created new company, sir.
Ah, okay, press enter. Okay, now are you getting the same screen here which I'm getting?
No, sir.
Then what are you getting?
Uh, Inward and outward supplies invalid or missing information.
Okay, press enter. Ah,
Yes, sir.
now now are you getting the screen which I'm getting?
I got different screens, sir. Like, yeah, same screen, but with other companies, sir. All the companies, whichever I had created.
No, 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 no. See, you told me that
No,
you
sir.
have created a new company, right?
Yeah, sir. I have the JD Traders also, sir. That company also.
You
This
should
one which
not
I
have
created.
other this thing. You should have JD traders only because if you have created a new company, how can you have other company details there?
Sir, I don't know, sir. Like last class, other companies that were created, that is also appearing along with Traders.
That should not happen, dear, because see, in the starting we just created a new company. So did you create a new company when I was creating a new company?
Yes, sir.
Uh, then how is it that is happening to you? It should not be happening, right? Okay, fine. I will rectify the errors that is happening to you, after I finish this I will rectify it. Fine, so now you can, for others who are able to follow me, you can just see what I do here now. So after I press enter, so it will take me to the screen where I need to provide the details. So here I'll provide the pin code of the place of supply. Okay, and this is the pin code of the dispatch. That means what is the difference between this bill from and dispatch from? See, this is the place of supplies GST number. That means this is the company's sorry, not GST number, I'm sorry, this is the pin code of the company. Okay, and the dispatch from means if the transporter agency is transporting your goods. So and if your transporter is, let us say, in some other location. So my company is in Jainagar, so here I will provide my Jainagar pin code. If my dispatch is that means my transporter is in Banshankari, so in that case here the dispatch from will be Banshankari pin code. Okay, next the pin code of bill to, that means this is the place of delivery pin code, so I'll provide the Delhi pin code. So now you can see that this particular error has been rectified. Okay, you can see that it has vanished now. Now again I'll press escape. Okay, again what I'll do, there is one more thing here. Okay, now what is it showing here? It is showing for IRN generation. So if I press enter, this will take me to the transaction here. So once again, if I just come to this part which says provide GST with bill, if I make this as yes, and if I just press enter, okay, I need not have to make any changes. I just have to re-enter that by pressing enter multiple times. Okay, now I once again I'll accept this. So now once again, if I click on this option which says yes, do you want to send voucher details for e-invoice and e-way bill generation? If I click this yes, now it says that you need a valid license to perform this activity. So if I had a valid license, by now this voucher would have been sent for the e-way bill and e-invoicing. So yeah, this is all about your, what do you say, e-invoice and e-way bill. So you can practically try this. At least you can come to this particular stage wherein it says you need a valid license. So yeah, any doubts regarding the e-way bill and e-invoicing? Whatever we discussed today, any doubts regarding that? Students, please let me know. Okay, fine. So now let us come back. So this was all about your e-way bill. So yeah, uh, now there is one last concept that is there, that is your import transactions. So today we will discuss import transactions and we will wind up for today's session. So for today, that will be the last topic, importing goods. Okay, when you're importing goods, how are the transaction happening? Okay, how are we supposed to record such transaction? Okay, so you can take a break of 5 minutes. There is no need for you to leave the meeting. Okay, you can just keep it there and you can take a break of 5 minutes, and after that we will just continue with that. Meantime, the ones who don't have any doubts, you can take a break for 5 minutes, but there was a student who was having a doubt. No, you come and you can clarify it now. Rest of them can have a 5 minutes break. Don't leave the meeting. Yeah, so who was it who was asking me some doubts in previously?
Sir, I was the one.
Yeah, what's your name?
Sir Rida.
Rida. Okay, tell me, Rida, what was it that you were facing? So you were telling me that in your screen you had multiple things, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now come to gateway of tally.
Yes, sir.
Okay, in the name of company, what is it showing?
Uh, where, sir? Which one?
Here, in the name of company, you can see on the right hand, left hand
Uh,
side.
MCC Tally Prime, sir.
Okay, is that the only company that is being showing there?
Yes, sir.
There is nothing else that is being shown.
Yes, sir. Nothing else,
Okay,
sir.
now from gateway of tally, go to alter.
Okay, sir.
Go to ledger.
Yes, sir.
Tell me all the ledgers that are being listed there.
Ledgers, there's like so many, sir. Even like the last
Tell
class
me, tell me,
that we created, sir. That I
tell me.
have a JD traders. I have, sir. I have sales
Okay, tell
also.
me the
P&L
first.
account.
You have so many, right?
Yes, sir.
That you have created even in the last class.
Yes, sir.
So without creating a new company, how can you get these options? So after creating a new company, you should not have all the ledgers, right? Because that's a new company.
Oh,
So
but
you
then,
have actually not created a new company. Maybe while creating the company, you have not, at least you have not accepted the new company, I guess. That is why you are still in the old company. Okay.
oh,
So that is why I
but
created a new company in the, you have not created a new company. If you want, you can go to vouchers. Not vouchers, go to daybook. Okay, go to daybook.
so, okay.
Did you go to daybook?
Yes, sir.
Press Alt F2.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay, and in the date which says from and to, press space bar, enter. again spacebar and enter.
Yes, sir.
How many transaction is it showing there?
It is showing all the transactions, sir.
Okay, there are many transactions, right?
Yes, sir.
So you have not created a new company. You are still using the old one only.
Oh,
If you have created
oh,
means
but
all that things would have
okay.
not been there, right? But because that's a new company.
Yes, sir. Maybe I did some mistake. Like because I was simultaneously doing, I didn't
Uh-huh.
save it properly, I guess, sir.
No, no, no problem, no problem. It's fine. You will find the recordings. You know, the recordings will be sent to you in the WhatsApp group. So when you're practicing,
Yes,
you can again, come back and watch the recording and you can, practice.
yes, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
So all of you are which semester class? Is this the fifth semester or sixth semester?
Sir, I am semester 2, sir.
Your semester two. Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
it is mixed up or all of you belong in the same class? You don't know.
Yeah, sir. I don't know.
Okay, fine, fine. Okay, fine. We shall continue with the last topic for today, that is import. Okay, so if we are importing certain goods from outside the country, okay, so how are we recording such transactions in Tally? So now tell me, do any one of you have any idea which tax is levied for imports? Can anyone tell me what tax is applied for the imports? If you are importing some goods from foreign countries, so on that what should you pay? Does anyone have any idea? Can even use the chat box to drop in your answers. Okay, so how many of you are aware of custom duty? So are you aware of this custom duty? You can even react. Okay, so there is a tax in the name of custom duty that we have to pay when we are importing certain goods. Okay, so now if it is a taxable good in India, okay, so if you remember in this company I had created a stock item, right? So which is that stock item? HP laptop. So in India, HP laptop, it is a taxable good at 18%. If you're importing this particular stock item from a foreign country, okay, let us take the example of USA. Okay, if you are importing this laptop from US, then you have to pay custom duty as well as IGST. Okay, so we will be paying custom duty as well as IGST. Okay, so let us record a import transaction. So I want all of you to pay attention now. Okay, so yeah, first let me create a party. So give me 1 minute. Yeah, so now let me create a party ledger here. So let me create a Jacob company. So because we are purchasing it, so it will be Sunday creditor. Okay, so I was telling that we are importing goods from USA, right? So let me give a state as well as country here. So in this case it will not be Karnataka. Let me select the state as New York. Okay, so let me choose New York. So country again it will be, United States. So registration type is unknown, okay, because in USA you don't have GST, right? So you don't know what the party is registered under. So you can keep it as unknown and accept the screen. Okay, let me create a purchase ledger as well. Purchase account under your purchase account. Okay, keep this GST applicability as applicable. And okay, then don't specify any details here. Select as per company or group only. Type of supply will be goods. Okay, so now let us record this transaction. Let me go to vouchers, F9. Okay, I'll press F9. Make sure that you are in item invoice. Okay, press Control H and select item invoice. Let me give a supplier invoice number. So because this is an import transaction, I will give it as IMP01. Let's change the date. Let us change the date into 1st of May. Okay, let us record this for 1st of May. Okay, party name is Jacob Company. Okay, now here it is very important to provide the import details here. Okay, so we need to provide the import details. Okay. So if you are not getting this screen, this import details, if it's not coming for you, what you can do is press escape from here, from your purchase voucher, press F12, and here you have an option, the fourth option, which is provide import details. So we need to enable this option. Okay, so enable this option, which is provide import details as yes. Press Ctrl A. Okay, and then you will get this import details. So it is very important for us to provide these details. So place of receipt by shipper. Okay, so this place will be New York. So vessel or flight number. Okay, so let me give a random flight number. Uh, so yeah, this is not a genuine flight number, but because I'm just giving an example. So yeah, so I've just given a random flight number. Next, port of loading. That means where are you loading this? So again, this will also be New York. Port of discharge. So port of discharge will be, let us say, Bangalore. So country is India. Okay, then you have to provide a bill of entry number. So let me give a random number here. So date is 1st of May. And for the port code, you have to provide the Bengaluru port code. Okay, for Bengaluru, you have a port code. So you can type Bengaluru and you can select any one of the Bengaluru port code. Okay. Okay, after that, you'll get the party details. You can press Control A. So under your purchase ledger, choose purchase account. Okay, after that, press space bar, select HP laptop, 5 numbers at the rate, let us say 23,000 per number. Okay, now here as per master or company. So yeah, now if you remember, I had told you that on this transaction IGST plus custom duty will be applicable. So do you think that I will mention IGST here? Should I mention IGST here? What do you think? Yes or no? Should I mention it?
No, sir.
Why?
Sir, because I IGST is like only for like India, no, sir.
Very good. Okay, so yeah, because we are importing it from this thing, right? From US. So the party, whoever here is Jacob company, he will not be collecting IGST from us. Okay, we will directly pay this tax amount to the government. Okay, so now again another very important concept. Pay attention to this. So when you are paying the tax amount directly to the government, okay. So if you are, you know, in your case of CGST and SGST, what is happening here is if you purchase any taxable good, you will pay the CGST or SGST to the supplier, and the supplier will take that money and he will pay it to the government. So this is how GST works. In case if you are not paying the GST amount to the party, but you are directly paying it to the government. So for example, in this case, you are not paying directly to the government, right? I mean, the party, right? So such a transaction or such concept is called as reverse charge mechanism. Okay, understand this. Reverse charge mechanism means you are paying the tax amount directly to the government. Okay, so now if you want, you can press Alt A. Okay, press Alt A, press Alt F1, and you can see that this 18% IGST has been calculated here. It's showing. But again, below here you have a note option which says amount of tax subject to reverse charge. That means we are supposed to pay this tax amount directly to the government. So here we will not have any IGST or any custom. So I will just press enter. So it is asking me for the e-way bill. So here I will not give any e-way bill. Okay. So you will get your bill of reference and accept it. Okay. So did you all understand the import transaction? There is still more to go for this. Let us, we still have 5 minutes of time. Let us quickly finish off the remaining transaction. Now I told you that you have to pay the amount directly to the government, right? So first what we have to do is, along with IGST, we have to also also pay custom duty. So once the goods, that means from New York, if it is transported to the Bangalore port, I can collect it only after paying custom duty. Otherwise, I cannot collect it. So it is very, very important to pay the custom duty. So what I'll do is I'll go to create. Okay. I will select ledger. I will create a ledger in the name of custom duty. So this custom duty will come under purchase account. Let me tell you why. If any goods is being applied a different tax along with GST, okay, if there is any other tax which is applied along with GST, such tax will come under purchase account. Okay, so keep this as purchase account. So here GST, for custom duty there is no GST, so I'll press space bar and I will say not applicable. So GST is not applicable, and then accept the screen. Okay, so now let us make the payment. So to make payment, we will go to vouchers. We will select F5, that is the payment voucher. So let me change the date. Let me make the payment for 2nd of May. Okay, and I'll press space bar. I will select either cash or bank. So because this is a huge amount, I will not be selecting cash. I will select bank account. So let me create a bank account.
Sir,
Huh?
so the before
Tell me.
step, sir, I don't have the option of account, sir.
Okay, press Control H
Yes, sir.
and select single entry.
Yes, sir.
Now is it coming?
Yes, sir.
Now record the transaction. Select any bank. If you have already created a bank ledger, select that bank ledger. Press space bar. Select custom duty. Okay, press space bar once again and select HP laptop. Okay.
Don't need to give any quantity or rate. Just provide the amount here. What is the custom duty that you are paying on this? So as an example, this, because it's an example transaction, let me just mention 30,000 here. Okay, so this is the custom duty that we are paying on this particular stock item. Oh, 1 minute, just give me 1 minute. On 1 minute, let me re-enter this transaction. Go to vouchers, payment, select HDFC Bank, press space bar, select custom duty. Again, press space bar in order to select the name of the item. Don't give any quantity here. Just mention the custom duty amount. Okay. Oh, 1 minute, 1 minute. Yeah, I'm sorry. I had enabled a cost center option. That is why I was getting a different option there. So you might not face the same issue. Okay. So because I was recording some other transaction, another option was enabled. I just disabled that. Okay. So yeah, let us continue. So I'll provide the custom duty amount here for the HP laptop. Okay. After that, again press space bar and here select IGST account. So how much is the IGST that I was supposed to pay? Okay, if I want to check that, what I can do is I can press Alt G. Okay, Alt G is the shortcut key to go to. Okay, and after that, I will select, I will type here GSTR, and here I have an option which says GSTR to be reconciliation. I will select this option and let me change the date. I'll press Alt F2 and I will change the period. And here you have an option which says import of goods. So my import good transaction is recorded here. So let me press enter. And here you can see that this is the IGST amount 20,700. Okay, this is what we are supposed to pay. Then here in the current balance it is showing 22,500. Can anyone tell me why it is showing 22,500? We are supposed to pay 20,700. Where did that extra come from? Can anyone tell me? It is because we had also recorded the previous transaction, right? For generating the e-way bill, I had given you an example. So even in that, we had charged IGST, right? So that is why that balance is also being shown here. Okay. So fine, no problem. You can check your IGST balance there and you can provide that balance here, 20,700. Let's enter, enter. Oh, this is all your basic banking details and press enter. Okay, so this is how you can pay the custom duty and IGST. Okay, only after you pay the custom duty you will receive the goods from the port. Okay, unless you do that you will not be able, you will not get any goods from the port that has been transported. So yeah, this was all about your import transactions. So any doubts so far regarding any of the topics that we have discussed? Okay, so with this, we shall be winding up for today.
So yeah, thank you class. So I'll be ending the meeting now. So before I end the meeting, once again I ask, if you have any doubts, not only regarding today's session, with whatever doubts you have, basically with the software, you can stay back. Okay, you can stay back and get your doubts clarified. Okay, for the ones who don't have any doubts, you can leave the meeting. Okay, yeah, thank you class. Okay, I can see still there are 9 participants. So any doubts for you people? I told you, right? If you have no doubts, you can leave the meeting. Okay, fine. So if you have no doubts, then I shall be ending the session. Thank you, class.